Okay, I think I'm back. I hope I am. Oh, goodness me. I'm going to wait again, and hopefully this has fixed all of the issues. Mamma mia. I'm so very sorry, guys. So for anyone who's just hopping in new, may see the stream. This is Raquel with Paints and Glitter. I'm just coming back and sharing a bit about Tonic Craft Kit number 83 with hopes that the screen does not freeze this time around. Although it looks like it might be. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Dawn. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your patience. I don't know why YouTube does this occasionally. I'm going to have to do some more homework, and believe you me, I have spent hours upon hours trying to see. Yes, I'm trying to move to make sure that I'm not completely frozen. But I've spent hours upon hours trying to make sure that I can make content for you guys, whether it be recorded or streamed. And for some reason, I just get, yeah, little things that happen here. Okay, so I'm having to go back and forth so that I can actually see the chat. For some reason, my streaming software plays naughty on me and doesn't let me see it. But back to this, I was just sharing with you how you can make different versions of these cards using the craft kit. And the other thing that I wanted to quickly mention before I proceed is that the US kit will not be receiving the wobblies, okay? I did not, yes, thank you, Rosh, for joining. So be sure to give a thumbs up to the video, as I had mentioned before, and I do apologize for even asking you guys to do that, but it does help the channel. So I do ask that if you join a live, please give a thumbs up, and that's the only free for entry. So the US kit will not be receiving the little wobblies because there is a patent issue, and that's got to do with the copyrights to the product. In the UK, it happens to be one company. In the US, there's another company that provides a very similar product. And because of that, and the patent not being, you know, I guess available for purchase or anything like that, I don't want to get into the legalese. The whole idea is that the UK people are getting a kit with the little wobblies, and then in the United States, in lieu of the wobblies, you'll be receiving instead foam adhesive as well as red line adhesive. Both of them are wonderful for card making and 3D crafts, so I don't think you're going to be missing out on much. And if you do want to know the product that you can get that is very similar to the wobblies, just do a little quick Amazon or Google search. You'll find it in no time, and that way, if you do want that interactivity and are residing in the US, then you can still purchase something similar and get that little effect on your card. So moving along, what I had mentioned prior was that I wanted to come and make some different versions of these cards, given that the fall season is almost here. We're at the end of summer, and there are people in the group who have requested that Tonic Studios do something for the fall, do something for Christmas, although there have been some Christmas releases from birthday week and just some other releases that are still available on the website that are Christmas related. This kit in particular did not have either of those. So I am here to give a different version of these cards. They're not going to look like these, but I'm here to create a fall and a Christmas version. Okay, so now I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to show you how what I've done with the items, the dies in particular, because I didn't take out the stamps. Again, those stamps have Mother's Day, Father's Day, prom, and wedding, and I'm not going in that direction. All I did was to cut out the items in simple white cardstock. The reason being that you can add ink to paper quite easily, and then take something that's a basic white and transform it. So with that in mind, I also took some other little items that I have here. And I think that I want to start, let's see here, with the fall. So I took a peek through my stash of goodies and I found this stamp set. Now this is from the Stamp Club. It's older, but you may have something similar on hand. And what I was thinking is that with something like this, as well as this one. This one happens to have sunflowers. And this can be very pretty for the fall. There's also this 3D embossing folder. It's called Leafy Lattice. That's something you could use for the fall. I was just looking at, okay, what do I have? What could be used for a fall make? And of course, the cool thing about having a blank slate, such as a white piece of card, is that you can stamp onto it, okay? So here, for instance, are little pieces for the little dress. And I'm simply going to start taking a peek here at the stamps and see what is something that is of scale. What I was looking at was this little sunflower here. And I didn't mention the name, but if you happen to have this, this is called US, or I'm sorry, it's called Golden Sunrise. And this was a stamp and die set from, oh my gosh, from the Stamp Club. So some of you may know. And I'm simply going to do, this is reminding me of, in the US, there was a program called, oh my gosh, The Magic School Bus. I don't know if any of you saw that. It's bringing back memories of when my kids were younger. And they would watch such programs. So what I'm going to do here, I've got some ink. This one's called Fossilized Amber. And I'm simply going to stamp this here. Anyway, on that show, there was a teacher, and her name was Miss Frizzle, and she would wear these outlandish dresses, but they were so adorable because they were always themed to whatever she was going to teach that day. And the program was all about the sciences, and it was really neat. Physics and science. And being the daughter of someone who studied physics and taught physics, I found that program to be very, very neat. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I took a baby wipe and I wiped off the leafy portion of this little stamp. And I'm simply going to keep stamping the same little flower to create a little bit of a design here. And now, of course, if you want this to be super whimsical, you can use whichever color you like. But again, I'm going for a little bit of a fall look here. And I think I'm going to repeat that same little flower. Just the flower portion, not the stem. Onto the top here. Just on the shoulder, if you will. Okay. There's also some wheat right on here. Hello again, Melissa. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. I'm going to swap out the little stamp, and now I'm going for the wheat. So Melissa, did you ever watch that show, The Magic School Bus, with your kids? Because I think your children might be contemporary with mine. I'm not sure. I shouldn't assume, but it might be the case. Okay, so I think I might do some second generation stamping here. And all that means is that you take off the ink and then come back with the same ink and put it right on top. Okay, and it's probably not going to be perfect, but I'm not perfect either, so just going with it. Okay. And I'm going to do that again. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same stamp. By the way, the colors that I'm using here are Fossilized Amber and Wild Honey from Distress Oxide. Those are readily available worldwide, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm taking that same wheat and doing again the same technique here, which is to do some second generation stamping. And all that means is that you are lightening the color to create a more muted effect of the same image. Okay. And what you want is even pressure, but because I'm trying not to be too complicated about things, I didn't get out the stamp platform. But if you want to be ultra, you know, specific and have it look luxurious and all the things, of course you could heat emboss this. You could use your platform, all the good things, okay? I'm just trying to keep it simple because this is a live video. And okay, so I'm going to take that same green ink. So I'm a girl who does not shy away from green. And I'm going to take a water pen. And hopefully there's some water, maybe not this one. Let's see here. I should have one with water in it. Okay. I've got a table full of cuttings, guys. I went to town because I was just like, cut, 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 cut. Make video, cut, cut, cut. Okay, so I'm just going to load that brush. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Because again, I have a lag, so I'm going to try to center this as best I can. I'm simply going to splatter that same paper. That's all. Nothing complicated. It's just to give this a little bit more of that look of fabric. And to hide any little imperfections, of course, right? Okay. And now I can go back and I can select little areas as well. I'm going to wipe off the green for a second. I can always add more ink. I did get one because I'm going to be completely honest. Although there is absolutely nothing wrong with my Tonic Craft mat. It has served me very, very, very well. I am a very visual human being, and I like to surround myself with lightness and things that are light, happy. Color impacts my mood. And I was noticing that having black in this room was not my thing. So I took it upon myself to change that. Okay, so now I'm adding a little bit of ink to the flower, this little sunflower in particular on the top. And all I'm doing is finding little spaces there on that little flower and filling them with little tiny droplets of this ink with this brush. And I'm purposely trying to grab the color without watering it too much by just using the very tip of this little brush. Okay, just like that. And anyway, so the mat was just not doing it for me anymore. I decided I didn't want anything black in my room at all, nothing. So I'm stuck with the scissors no matter what. But that's just scissors. Okay, I think I want to repeat that down here. So this, by the way, is Spiced Marmalade, the name of that color, or marmalade, depending on where you're from. You might say it one way or another. Okay, so I'm going to just very, very quickly dab, dab, dab. I'm not being too precise either, because I'm just trying to give this a little pop of color here and there, okay? So that it's not too boring. Hi, Barbara. I told my husband, I was like, the aesthetic is it's not working for me, babe. So, actually, he didn't even know that I got the matte, but I just let him know. It's like I ordered a matte because the black is just not my thing. It can be very elegant. I love wearing, for instance, black clothing because it can be very elegant, but I don't like to surround myself with anything that's dark. All right, so I'm grabbing that little sunflower again. Again. And this time around, you could do this with gray ink. You could do it with brown, whichever color you like. I think I'm going to go with the brown. And this is a hybrid ink from Tonic. And I'm just, again, that little blossom is where I'm concentrating this. And I'm going to stamp right over what I just colored. And I realize it might not be perfect, but I'm okay with that. It's going to bring out that little flower again. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. I think you can. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the little top. And if it's a little bit off, it's okay. It still gives the look of fabric on that. Okay, and we have one little fall outfit that now can go onto a card. However, she's going to need some shoes, and I think it would look really cute if her shoes match the outfit. So let's start off with this color here. She's going to be styling. And then the inside of the shoes can be used. I realize this is not for everyone, but I love color. So she can have a little handbag to match. I'm using the fossilized amber here as the base. Super cute. And there are these little bits that you can use to layer on top of the little handbag that are absolutely gorgeous. And what I think here is that the contrast is what's going to make it super cute. So I'm going to go back to that spiced marmalade or marmalade. Oh, Tanya, yes. You know what's interesting, Tanya, is that I lived in a condo before I met my husband, and when we were dating, he gifted me this unit of furniture that was left outside from a hospital that had closed down, and it was used in that hospital as a I guess like a filing system or something like that. But in any case, it's huge. It's over 6 feet tall, and it's really, really wide. The thing weighs as much as a house. And it's got 3 big doors, and that's where I used to put my crafts, because again, it was a condo, and it was like the only room I had was like in my living room for my crafty things. And back then, because of the type of the paint in the place, which I was not allowed to change and yada, 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 I actually had that unit painted in black. And in that space, it looked very classy, I would say. It fit. But, oh, by the way, I'm layering this on top of the little handbag, okay? And that's where the contrast is going to come in there. And that does fold over. But when I moved into this house, having that same piece of furniture in that black, it felt like I had just, oh my gosh, it was so drab looking here, which is so amazing. But what I did is that I painted over it, and now it's got a lot of different techniques on it, which are not visible to the untrained eye, I would say. But it's a different color, and it has, I painted little ribbons on the side, and it's got birds on it now, and it's more like an off-white color, and I'm really happy with it. So I did share a picture of it on social media because I used a Prima transfer on it with little birds, and big, huge change. And in my opinion, a great improvement. So I'm going to take a little metal ruler here, only because this has this little edge. And I want to fold it over. I'm trying to think if I want to make this, I get lost in thought, guys, but I'm just trying to think of how I want to make the card. Because you can make it so that this, you know, opens and closes, or you can just cut that portion off. Choices. But I do have that other stamp with the sunflowers that I said I wanted to use. Here it is. Because I think that would look really sweet with that on there. I may end up just cutting that off. Okay, so here you can do the darker reddish color sunflower. I'm going to do this kind of off the edge. Okay, that was again the full on color, and then that second generation stamp. I'm going to repeat that with the fossilized amber. And I'm stamping off to the side. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. But I often end up saving those little pieces of paper and then cutting into them. And you can surprise yourself with really neat backgrounds by doing that sometimes. So I'm going to overlap these because this is just going to be a pretty background. And I'm going to do the second generation one right kind of next to it here. So I didn't stamp away this time because that's pretty light. And now I'm going to do the wild honey. Yes, I also have some of the, in fact, I have two of the Target shelves in white. I think, Melissa, we might have the same ones. those are inside of my closet, and then I have another one. I think it might be the same thing, or I may have gotten it at Walmart, but it's, you know, same concept inside of this room. And then everything else is the white IKEA. And that's only because when we moved into this house, I finally had a room to craft in. And oh my gosh, I hit the mother lode. IKEA at that point had a back to school sale. And I didn't even know they had such things. But I got the furniture for this room for so cheap. I could not believe it. And it's all of those, you know, the white Alex units and all that good stuff. Okay, this looks good enough to me. I've got some flowers and some flowers. Flowers and flowers. Okay. Now I need a background. So the choice here is going to be, do I want to put this on here? Which I can do that, and then put the little outfit on top. It might be too much competition there. Let's see here. But of course, I can always put another skirt behind it to create a little bit of a shadow there. So I may just do that. And then add the little shoes and then the little handbag. You know where this is going, see? And then I have a green piece of card. So I'm going to cut this green piece of card first. In fact, I may just use this for the other piece of that skirt. I just have to do a little bit of clearing up here really quickly so that I have room. I'm going to make this 4.5 by 5 3/4. And with this leftover piece of paper, I'm going to, oh yes, Melissa, the stamps are the older ones from the stamp club, because I just took a little peek around my room to see what I had. And I figured, okay, these are kind of universal shapes, which is a sunflower. And this one was sunshine and sunflowers. And then the other smaller ones were the tiny little sunflower and the wheat from this set, which is called Golden Sunrise. So there's that tiny little sunflower. And that was so that I could show you that you can make a fall themed dress using some very, you know, easy to find type of images if you happen to have them. Because, you know, to have a stamp with a sunflower, I don't think is all too unusual. So here I'm going to just cut this little skirt again, and I'm going to use this color green, and this is just going to be my little shadow. In fact, I'm going to do the little top also. Okay, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to that other little top that we just stamped. Okay, because this little top here has a second die, and that's the little collar. So you can cut into it. So all you have to do is once you've cut it, you've done all the little things you want to do to it, you just place that right along the neckline. And moving this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and I'm going to place that right there. And I'm going to cut this out. Sounds like a little chicken. My little birdie. Okay. So here's shadow 1, shadow 2. Easy enough. And then our little top with the little collar cut out of it. Okay. It even has that little tag. So if you have an itchy back, you might not like that. Or sensitive, I should say. I'm one of those people. I have to rip the tag out. Okay. Now, if that is not to your liking, just leave that in there, okay? What I would likely do is stamp that little sunflower all over again, or even cut out some of these little flowers and stick them right on top. But again, these are just to give you a broad idea of something you can make. So I'm going to just layer this topsy-turvy. I'm going to layer this one on top. You know what? Now with the types of paints that you can get so readily available, it really isn't all that hard to transform furniture. I mean, what I did with mine is that I painted over it, and I think one of the layers that I did may have been just regular old house paint, to be honest, because it doesn't really matter when you're redoing furniture and that sort of thing. It's amazing what you can get away with. And since I was doing my own techniques and all that stuff, and I don't ask people permission for what I can use in my house, I just did my own thing, and I love it. I love, love, love it. Okay, so I'm going to add some texture to this background, and that's where this little folder is going to come in. I'm simply going to run this through. This is called Leafy Lattice. Some of you may be very familiar with this folder. And of course, this isn't going to fit my itty bitty machine, so I need to bring in the big mama. You can add ink to this if you'd like to. I'm just going to keep it super simple, and I'm going to somewhat spray this. However, I think because I don't want to oversaturate this, I'm going to take a paper towel and just dab it on. So this is slightly wet. Very, very little. Just for a little bit of dampness there. That keeps the paper from cracking. If you're unfamiliar with 3D folders, they're not the same as the regular ones. You may get away with embossing a regular folder without wetting the paper, but 3D folders are not as flimsy. I think this is the combination. So I'm using my platinum, and every single one of these guys has a different combo. So I'm going to look here really quickly because I always forget what they are. Okay, let me grab the proper plate. I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to use a shim because I don't know what happened to my plate. Alrighty. Oh, here it is. It was right in front of my face. I apologize, guys. Left you there for a moment. I promise you I didn't go very far. Oh my gosh. I went over to where I keep my plates and it wasn't there, and it's because I decided to keep it on my table. Ay. Okay. Easy enough. Just run it through one time and you're good to go. Nothing complicated. It's just the plates differ depending on the machine. And clearly, the number of things that you go through when you're crafting. Okay. All of that just to run this through. Okay. But there's the texture. Let me not lose the shoes. And this folder is darling. So very cute. So I had thought, of course, to just keep this as a basic 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 little card. However, I may have to cut it a tiny bit larger. I'm going to, I think, do, let's see here, 4 and whatever the 1/8 is larger. Or no, let me think here. 5 1/2, that would be 11. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, whether I want to or not. Okay, so I'm using this paper cutter. And it should have a blade for scoring. And here it is. So you just change these out as needed so that you can score your paper. And I'm famously bad at it, but at least I try. Okay, let's hope that this works. If not, we'll practice forgiveness, okay, guys? I'm going to fold this. I like a top folding card, by the way. They are my favorite, just because it gives you an opportunity to sort of sit it in a way that you can display the card when it's all said and done. Hi Missy. Yes, it is. It's the new plate system, and I'm still trying to get used to it. I feel like I'm in the dark when I use it because I'm so used to just quickly getting that done. Okay, just so you know, I'm cutting this down very, very slightly because it has to now fit. And another thing that happens, of course, when you use a 3D embossing folder is your paper gets this ebb and flow is what I'm going to call it. And you do have to check to make sure that it's even all the way around. So I'm going to cut, there's a little lattice portion here at the bottom. I think it looks quite nice. I'm trying to cut it so that it fits on here. And that's going to do just fine. Then this little guy is going to go here. So I'm not going to fight with it though. I could fold this on the edge. I'm just going to cut it away. I think that's what I did on my other cards. Yeah, Tim Holtz needs to come to my house and fix that thing. That's what he's got to do. His little videos with his man hands when I'm over here with the delicate hands that have no no strength whatsoever. And I'm like, You know, Tim, when you hold this in your hands, it looks tiny, but when I hold it in my hands, I'm like, it's so big. Yeah, no, I think I want to design my own tools. Thank you very much. They're all gonna be pink. So there. And I feel like I'm old enough that I can talk to Mr. Holtz that way, because I met Mr. Holtz when when he was just a young thing. So actually, we're not that far. we're not. He's not that. I'm trying to think. We might be contemporaries. Come to think of it, I forgot. I don't know. I don't keep up with the lives of people I don't know. I met him very briefly at one of those craft shows. And I remember he was like doing a thing. This was a long time ago. And hey, look at that. He took off and he's making tools that I'm now complaining about. But if I had my say, I would make them pink. Because I'm unapologetically feminine. I have no shame in that. Alright, so I'm going to use some double-sided adhesive here as I'm teasing, okay guys? So don't write me any more hate mail. Actually, I've never gotten hate mail. I get a lot of complaining. Lots and lots of complaints. But no hate mail, thank God. Alright. Now, for this sort of thing, if you want to bring this out a little bit more, go ahead and grab some glitter gloss. And you know that this is water reactive ink that I placed on there because I was using the beautiful, gorgeous, darling Distress Oxides from Mr. Tim. Which I absolutely love. So there's no I'm not hating just because I don't like black tools. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because it's so worth it. Just to start playing with that ink. And you know, this is paints and glitter, guys, so you're going to get the zhuzh. You're gonna get the glam. Okay, Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. The goodie bags, guys. I'm not really, well, see, I'm not on Facebook very much other than when I'm posting pictures. So I don't know what people are getting in their goodie bags that they purchased from birthday week. But I did grab a tool one, and I shared that in one of the videos, and it had a little pick, which you can't go wrong with that. It had also 2 bags, the zip top bags in the A4 size, which that's phenomenal. And I'm just squeezing this real quick. Ugh. And then it had the little daubers. So excellent bargain for $10. I was very pleased because that pick, just the pick alone, I think is like $10 on a regular day. Okay, so this is very subtle, but in person, it gives that little bit of shine, and then it's bringing out the other, yes, this is called a glitter gloss pen, okay, and it's gonna be available with the new kit, okay? That's one of the items in that kit, and I cannot craft without it. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It really does bring out the colors when you're crafting. It makes everything so absolutely wonderful and beautiful without much effort, because as you can see here, I'm not doing a lot, okay? This is just a matter of touching the paper with the tip of that little pen, and that's that, okay? Now, it just occurred to me that we need a phrase here. We need a sentiment, darling. Okay, and pardon me, I am a nomad. So I pick up accents all over the place and they stick in my brain and I can't get them out. So the only way to get them out is to use them. How about this one? I'm so glad you're my friend. Isn't that sweet? Because, you know, fall is a great time to show gratitude with Thanksgiving coming up. So how sweet would that be to get a little card in the mail? Just thanking someone for being a good friend. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of shine just to the little edge of that little handbag. Easy peasy. So I'm sorry if I've been out of frame, guys. Hard to gauge the distance sometimes. Hello, Miss Ladybug. Yes, you do need to... Actually, I would say one to keep by your front door. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just joking. I'm going to use the little banner. This came with the kit, number 83 as well. I think I might be able to fit that on here. If not, then I'll use the one that says, I appreciate you. Let's see. This might be too many words. Yep. Unless I stamp, so glad you're my friend. No, I'm going to do the I appreciate you because I think that's really sweet for the fall. Don't forget, guys, if you enjoy the content, leave a thumbs up. That's all I ask. Leave a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And of course, it also lets YouTube know that you like crafty videos where you don't have to worry about the volume, don't have to worry about the language being used. You can watch it in front of your pets and your children. Even if I have a lame sense of humor, at least I tell you the truth. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this in the hybrid ink. This is called Acorn Brown. Love that. It says, I appreciate you. So that's going to go right in the center there. Okay. Leaves a little room for embellishing with drops on either side. So that's something you might want to bear in mind when you're stamping also. And I love that. I love the ladybugs. That's so darling. In fact, we just saw one in our garden yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago. They're so sweet. Okay. I'm going to finish adhering this, I promise. I was thinking of the little wobblies. So put one back there. On the back of the little skirt. I think it would be really, really cute. Okay. I'm going to put the shoes on here first. Aren't they so sweet? I wish they were recent, but I honestly was looking to see, you know, I was looking for something fall related, and that's what I had in my stash. I never even got the hold of the dies because I got this when it was, I think they may have been on clearance. But you know what? I think I'm just going to stick this down because I don't want to keep getting up. I've already made you guys wait for me to try to find my own supplies here. So this is a very simple, easy card. You guys saw how not difficult this was to make. Now I can add the little sash on the waistline here. I think it'll be worth adding because it'll be one more place where I can add a little bit of ink. And I think I might just dab this on here. Maybe that wasn't such a great idea. Way to ruin it, Raquel. I just gave it texture, so I guess I'm gonna have to finish it. More texture. Whatever. It's a hand-me-down belt she got from her older sister. It's been around the block. We're not going to judge the girl for her belt. Okay. I'll just add a little bit of, you know, drops on it and cover up the snafu of the ink. But I'm giving her a little bit of a belt there. And then the handbag. Okay. So there she is. And of course you can cut off that little strip there for the handbag if that bothers you. Which in my case, I'm just getting ink and adhesive all over the place, but you can be more careful than I am. All right. But before that dries entirely, or actually once it dries, I can go back with my little sand eraser and take away any little drops of adhesive. I think I'm going to add this right here in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to grab, let's see here, one of these little drops. I gave it history. Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry, Missy. Yeah, these are older stamps. Sunshine and Sunflowers, and then the other one was around here somewhere. Sorry, I'm trying to look around my desk here. The other one was, the one all over the dress was Golden Sunrise. And if you guys don't remember this, this is the one that came with the little windmills and the lavender field, which, by the way, you could stamp that on the little skirt as well. If you wanted to do purple tones, for instance, as a fall card, you could totally do that also. All right, so I'm going to give her a little bit of golden drops on her dress, okay? She didn't come all this way to just be, you know, plain Jane. She got dressed, all right? She is dressed for the fall, honey. And then her heels are going to get some of that golden action as well. Now, if you were making a masculine card, you can do the same exact background, substitute the dress for the jacket, okay? And then do your stamping on maybe the lapels of that jacket and then that inner portion of the shirt, the same exact patterns. There's no reason why you can't, okay? And the same exact colors. Maybe go a little bit darker with the brown. And I'm sorry, I'm over here fighting with this bottle. The stamps were older from the stamp club when Tonic Studios was doing the stamp club, so they are much older. I just was trying to find, again, some universal little shapes that you may have even from the dollar store. I mean, they sell stamps as well. You might have in your stash of stamps a little sunflower here or there, you know? The wheat could be substituted for grass. It doesn't have to be wheat per se, okay? And then I'm going to add one more drop. And that's just because I want to, where is it? Add a little bit more of a muted color. This happens to be malted milk. And that's just to add a little bit of cream to this. Very little. Only because it's fall related. My needle's too big. And my drops always tend to solidify, guys, just because it gets cold here. the temperature will flow, ebb and flow in this room. All right, I'm not gonna fight with that because my hands are too weak. So just pretend I put little drops here and there. Okay, now if this green is not your thing, you can substitute that for any color of orange, any color of beige, anything like that. I just wanted to give some contrast. I happen to have that piece of paper laying around, and there that is. If anything, you can always use the die and cut that little portion out and place it back inside with a lighter version, whatever pleases your eye, right? But that is my little fall card, and now I'm going to move on to Christmas, okay? So let's see what I can come up with that. I've got a ton of other little die cuts still around here. And I had chosen this particular paper here from the Candy Cane collection. And I also have a piece of red card. So this is quite bright, actually. And then there's the back side of this is striped. So I was trying to think here that I could do the same, you know, something very similar. And that was to use the Christmas confetti. Again, this is a very small scale stamp. I didn't want to make it too crazy busy, so I may break this up with some white, just because it's something that I like to do. And I thought maybe to do a tag this time around. So let's see what I can come up with. Because I can cut this down. I think that's what I'm going to do, just to make it easy. In fact, yep, I've got one of these little guys here, and this is a crocodile. So I think I'm going to start there. And I'm just going to make an oversized tag that you could use for gift giving. And I think I'm going to make this, let's see here, about 7 inches tall. Yeah. So I'm going to cut away about 4 inches from this because I know it's 11 inches. And this is so I don't keep you guys here forever and a day. I'm going to cut off a piece of this paper. Being left-handed and using these cutters is an oxymoron, just so you know. Because cutting off an inch is like, ah. Oh, I'm probably the only person who thinks that, but I think I want to do this. Okay, so I'm first going to adhere this. And I'm just going to go toward one corner here. Easy enough. I'm going to cut away a strip of the same paper, only flipping it backwards. And I'm going to place that right here on this edge. Now, if you want to make this a card front, then of course you can just adjust for size. Put away what you don't need there. And then on the corners, I have, let's see here, I'm gonna make it a stub corner with this. Okay, I think that's really cute. Now for the little skirt and the suit jacket here, which I'm going to add the pants, add the little skirt. And this could be a really cute like party invite. In fact, one of the ladies was mentioning you could use the jacket with the skirt. The only thing is the length is a little bit hard to work with there, but this could be a little sweater. Let me see if I can transform that. If I cut it short, we're gonna see if I can make this into a little, yeah, it's gonna be a little cardigan, okay? Little Christmas cardigan. And then you can take, I know there's another little sash. And everything's blending because it's it's all white on white. Okay, so there's this piece here that's meant to be for the male jacket. I might use it there for the waistline on that. Choices, choices. It might be too short though. Bear with me, guys. I'm thinking on the fly here. In any case, you could also add a little piece of ribbon too, which would be super cute. But this time around, I'm going to take a peek here at these little guys. And I have some really tiny little holly. There's some stars, some candy canes. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay, so for the jacket, I think I'm going to use a little star. There are little stars in the background of this, by the way, the paper, in case you're wondering. And I'm going to grab the color Berrylicious. This happens to be from Pink Fresh Studio. And hopefully I'm not out of frame here, but I'm just going to have a little bit of fun because this is going to be a festive little jacket ready for the holiday season. Christmas parties, ugly sweater parties. All of those parties that people get invited to. That can be a lot of fun. Okay, easy enough to stamp that. I'm gonna wipe that down. And then the pants. Let's see here. The pants, the pants, the pants. I think those would look really nice with the pinstripes that you can do with the die set. And I'm going to share with you, that's this die here. Yes, absolutely. Just for fun, you know, why not? Let's run this through. And again, it's fun to use these items because it really does show you the versatility of a simple set of dies. All it takes is looking at what you already have, what you already own, and having some fun with it, not taking life far too seriously, because there's enough going on, guys. There's enough. It's okay to craft for the fun of it too. All right, so now he's gonna have some pinstripes there, and I only wish I had something similar for the skirt, because that would be really cute. But I'm going to focus on this for a moment because there is this little top that can go on the inside. So what I'm going to do with that is okay, I wanted to grab this really quick so that way I'm not having to wipe down my table. This is just my little media mat here, and I'm just going to color this little portion in red. Okay. All right. It's going to be a nice dark red. And I think I want to do the same thing with the shoes. There's also the little grip mat under there. So if you're afraid that your items might move around too much, you can use the grip mat. I'm just going to use this. Okay. And this ink is amazing, so I'm quite happy with that. And the pants, I'm just going to go ahead and drag that ink right onto it. I'm trying not to get red ink all over my fingers, but it might just happen no matter what. This is looking a bit patriotic, but there's another idea. Okay. Woo! Trying not to get that too wet there. All right. So now we can assemble this, and for the jacket you just have to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here. That can line up right with the top of this. You just have to try to center that as best as you can. And there is a little collar portion for this, as well as a bow tie. And then the little lapels. So I'm going to put those right on top. And I'll tell you, I don't think I could do these little details as easily if it weren't for that glue gun. It really makes crafting a whole lot easier. So I just have to shimmy that up to that top edge. Do the same thing on the other side. And then there's the little bow tie. I think I want that bow tie to be green because, again, this is Christmassy. So I'm going to give it some glitter here. This is a glitter pen from Tonic Studios. And the color specifically is Iced Ivy. I'm going to place that right there on the collar. Grab my tweezers here, hopefully. Oh, no, there's not going to be a way. I'm going to grab it this way. So there's that little jacket and bow tie. I think it's upside down. I'm going to fix that. I think my little bow tie was upside down originally. All right. And this little guy can go right on here. That's a fun party outfit. Okay, and of course the little shoes. I think, oh, I did two of the same. Nobody told me. My shoes. He's got two left feet. He's not going to be able to dance. Hold on a second. All right, now he's got a left and right foot. Heaven help us. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to set that little outfit aside for one moment while I come back to this one. Ooh, and I got some ink on there. Okay, I'm going to have to cover that up because I accidentally got red ink on it. Don't know how I did that, but my hands are not too clean. That's what you don't see in the pre-recorded videos, of course. Bear with me. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, I think I might put this little portion on here on the sweater. Yep, I think that's how I'm going to cover that raw edge because it was bothering me a little bit. The little cardigan. Okay, so we're going to stamp on this as well. And this time around, she can have the little gingerbread men or the candy canes. Maybe the candy canes. Although, actually, there's this holly and ivy. I think that's what I'm going to use for this. And what I'm going to do is use this for the skirt because there's more room here, of course, for all of this busyness. And I'm going to use Burma Jade. This is the hybrid ink from Tonic Studios that I think is best going to match that paper because I think that's what's key here is to try to match as best as you can the background, of course. And I've accidentally gotten all sorts of red ink on here. So let's pretend that that's not what happened. Pretend it's nice and crisp and clean. So I'm going to go just like this, all right? A little bit of design there. And the little sweater can be in this color. But for that, I'm going to use a brush. And then the little belt. I'm probably going to put glitter on it. Okay, bear with me 1 second. I didn't want to mix the red with the green, so that's why I went ahead and did the inking on here. All right, back to this little guy here. I'm going to try to strategically cover up that little boo-boo on my paper. However, I want to make sure that there's room here for all the cutesy stuff. Okay, I think I like this. And of course, there's going to be her little shoes. If you want to, you can add the little hangers as the little, you know, indicative there that this is a good time to start planning your little Christmas outfit. It's up to you. There's also a bow tie, the little shoes as I had shown before, all the cutesy stuff. So let me go ahead and do the green on those shoes as well before I forget. Full on, just like that. Okay, and then for this little edge, I can also add a little bit more. I think I might add the shoes off to this little side here so that they're a little bit more visible. And then I'm going to be adding a little bit more shine so that everything's not so flat looking here. And I apologize if I was off the grid there. Craft kit as a one-off purchase. Okay, so what's happened is, and they explained this earlier today, if you didn't see the preview video from the ladies over at Tonic, and guys, I have this glitter, I almost forgot about it. I'm going to be using this. Okay, so the kit, if you're not a subscriber, you then are subject to basically being not on the highest priority, I guess is the way that I would have to say it. Because if you do subscribe, you know, you can always skip a kit if you don't want it. But subscribers always get first dibs, obviously, because you're reserving next month's kit if you do subscribe. So if you're not a subscriber and you want a kit, what they do is that they first fill the subscriptions, and then if there are any left over, then you can purchase a kit. So what I would say is next month, September, within the first week is when the kits start going out, because they mail out starting on the first business day of the month. And then thereafter, what happens is that once they fulfill all the subscriptions, then you can try to purchase a one-off. And I hope that that made sense. So what I'm saying is don't lose hope. You may be able to get your hands on it. It's just all going to be dependent on how many people actually skip this kit. And, you know, not everyone's going to want the kit, you know, because of whatever reason, right? So, okay, so these are going to be the little shoes. I am going to add a little bit of color to this as well, and I may as well just keep using this because, again, the point is to share with you that you can create quite some Christmassy little outfits and fall outfits, all the good stuff with this. Just use what you have on hand. If you don't have a glitter marker, for instance, then by all means you can use your colored pencils. You can use rub-ons. You can use washi tape that maybe is Christmas related, and then place it on the paper before you die cut it. it will stick much better if it gets that pressure from the plates. Okay. But I think this is a darling little design. I would wear a skirt that looks like this, so minus the stains, of course, but that's my own fault. Because I'm doing a lot of different things here. Okay, so just, you know, you can take your time coloring these in. This does have a bullet nib, which is why I'm coloring so slowly, by the way. It's not very thin, and the images are not very large, so I do have to be a little bit more careful when applying this. But if you're really, really afraid to mess it up, you can press this onto your table and pick it up with a little paintbrush. And don't forget, guys, give the video a like if there is absolutely anything that you can take away from my tutorials, which are free, which I gladly come here and share. It's not compulsory. I'm not obligated to do them. You know, I do this because I absolutely love sharing all the little tips and tricks. It's how we all learn. None of us are born knowing everything. I'm going to use, let's see here. I think I'm going to use my little pen, adhesive pen here. I'm going to take a peek at the chat. So it looks like a fuzzy sweater. Awesome! Missy, thank you for seeing that. Yeah, so I do recommend the subscription plan by all means. Melissa's right, because then you get 10% off of every order. Every order. And that's a stackable discount. Not every company does that. You guys know this. You shop around. Not everyone gives you a 10% off of everything that you purchase in their store. That, by the way, includes sale items. There are exclusions, okay? Don't get me wrong. There's an exclusion here or there occasionally, and for that you do have to take a peek at the website and see what it may be, okay? So I'm going to gingerly pick this up. Now, I'm going to give this a moment, okay? Because I want it to get nice and tacky before I apply that glitter. In the meantime, I'm going to adhere my little items here. Okay? And this, again, this could be a really cute little invite to a Christmas party. Oh, wait, I was going to overlap that on top. Oh, well. I guess not anymore. All right, the idea here is that I want to cover up my little smudge. I'm going to put the little hanger behind this first. Okay. And I'm adding this so that you can see that this is just easy to incorporate. By the way, if you have not seen the samples from the other ladies in the design team, let me just tell you, Shabnez, pretty sure it was Shabnez, oh my word, she made an Indian sari and the male dress that they wear for weddings out of this kit. Wow, wow, wow. It just blew everyone out of the water. So absolutely gorgeous. So before this dries, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle this. So if you've not seen that, give my girl some love. Please let her know I sent you if you've not seen her sample yet. I'm looking for a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to give this a little smush. Little love. Yes, I agree. You can definitely bling up that hanger and make it look absolutely fabulous. Okay. All right, so any sections that I did not put adhesive on here, it's not going to have the full-on glitter, but you guys get the idea, okay? It's not too complicated. And if you're afraid of glitter, get out of my house. Just kidding. It's not for you. Use the marker. Use the marker. Me, I sprinkle it over my shoulder for good luck. I hope you guys know I'm kidding, guys. Just joking around. Oops. I think I accidentally moved this. I didn't mean to move it, but I did. Okay. I'm going to try to be a little bit serious. Okay. Put on the little skirt. And that's going to go... Oh, I keep getting it stuck. See, the thing is that I have moisture on my hands. Sorry, guys. I'm lifting things that I'm not meaning to lift. There we go. I'm going to try to keep my hands a little bit clean. I'm not doing this justice because I'm not having time to let things dry, okay? I promise you, if you do this without rushing through it, it'll be much nicer. But she's getting a glitter belt whether she likes it or not. Okay. Because it's the Christmas season. And she shall be glitzy. All right. Now I'm going to put the little shoes down here. And now off camera, of course, I'll probably substitute, for instance, the centers of those little shoes for a little red instead of green, just to give that a bit more contrast. And I promise you, everything is sticking to my fingers right now. Okay, let's try to finish it. Now, I had wanted those little pants to be on the front, not the back, but nevertheless, the little shoes are going to make it on there no matter what. Just going to pretend they've been partying. And I'm going to add a little bit of red to that skirt. Okay, so from Tonic Studios, there are different colors of drops, different styles of drops. There's, for instance, this crystal drop in the color Autumn Red. This is a bit more muted, in my opinion. That would be great, for instance, on the fall card. There's this color, which is Red Berry, and this is more of like, you know, Santa's coming to town kind of red there. That, if you do little reindeer, you know, that sort of thing, that would be really cute. And then there's this Rudolph's nose. However, this color is not as red as the other ones because there's this pearlescent finish to it. So bear with me. I'm going to try to get this to flow here. I'm just going to grab a little scrap piece of paper. Yeah, mine might be a little bit on the solid side here. Let me see here. I might be able to unclog it. Thank you, Raj. Sherwani. The Sherwani. And am I correct? It was Shabnez, right? So Shabnez does not do YouTube videos. She does shorts, I believe, on Instagram, but I know she does have an Instagram account. That's, I believe, her main way of sharing. Oh, and welcome the Crafty Bee. Let's see here. Lehenga. So it's a lehenga, and oh my gosh, I love it. I love, love, love. I had a neighbor that was from India. I can't remember which area of India she was from now that I'm thinking about it. But she wore saris more than she wore American clothing. And I remember telling her, I was like, you know what? You're not missing anything. Because the fabric was just so gorgeous. And I remember she showed me her dowry. Oh my word. She had rubies and emeralds for days. It was so gorgeous. Okay, so I'm struggling with this. Nothing new. I'm going to take my... You guys know I like to improvise. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Take my little pokey tool, and I'm going to use that. So there. In fact, it might work even better because these little berries are so tiny. And I just think about the silks, those silks that come from the East that are just so absolutely gorgeous. Which, by the way, if you really, really wanted to go all out, say for like a wedding card, you can cut fabric with these dies, depending on the thickness of it, of course. And that's another thing that you could do that would be a lot of fun. And for instance, you could use the drops that I'm using. Of course, this is not how you ideally would be using them. I just have no choice at the moment because I can't get the nozzle to unclog. And as I've shared before, if I'm nothing else, I am at least tenacious. Don't like to leave things undone. But you could definitely use little pearls and adhere them to the front of the card. I mean, you could go all out. This is only one of so many different options. Now there's a little bit of a smudge there, and I'm going to pretend it's a berry that I very purposely placed in the wrong place there. Who cares? Because it's going to bother me. All right, so that's that. Just going to try to make it match everything else. And that's because of the ink that I had gotten there on there. So that's what I typically do. If something doesn't look 100% okay, I just cover it with a drop and call it done. The sentiment in this case can be, again, on one of these little banners. You can do Christmas cheer. How about that? And it doesn't have to be the full banner either, which is neat. And I think I'm going to just use black ink to make it stand out from everything else, although there is no black on that paper. So you could definitely use brown, use green, use red. I'm just wanting to get this one and done. Okay. And that's the first time I've used that stamp, and you see how clearly and easily they do leave an imprint. I'm not struggling here to use these supplies. And that's the difference between something that's well made and something that's not so well made. So I'm just going to put this back really quickly, and we can kind of measure this out. I'm going to put it right down here. And of course on the edge, you're going to put a little bit more color if you want it to stand out from the background, because that's the one caveat with having a background that's busy like that, is that then everything else kind of needs a little bit of help to stand out. But you can use your inks, your pencils. And I'm going to try to get that edge. Okay, I think I did it. All right, so I'm going to place this here. Right toward that edge, and then I'm just going to cut away what I don't need. Please stick. Okay. I'm going to give this a little bit more shine, and that's going to be with this crystal glaze, because otherwise this suit, I mean, it's fine as it is, but why not? It's going to be a party outfit. So all of those little stars are going to be nice and shiny. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bow tie. Even though there is glitter in that marker, adding this also adds that little bit of texture. So that's where you can really jazz this up, make the pinstripes shiny. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the shoes. Because texture is so much fun to add. Now, normally, I'm going to be very, very honest. Normally, what I would do is, Rosh is saying when you dress up, you literally look like Christmas trees. Oh, Barbara. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for having stopped by. I very much appreciate it. So what I was going to say is normally what I would do is that little sash, because it's kind of like leaking glitter now, of course. Normally what I would do, of course, is create that separately, okay? Let it dry entirely. Then encase it with the crystal glaze. So that way there isn't that little flaking that happens, okay? And normally I wouldn't stick my nail in the drops either. But it goes without saying, when you're crafting live, you're going to make all the mistakes and all that good stuff. But you guys know, the idea behind it is what truly matters. But let me bring back, I'm going to just take this off of here because it's too much. Let me bring back the other items. I've got so many pieces of clothing. It just looks like a laundry pile now. We used a 3D folder. We used a very simple little Christmas stamp. We used some fall stamps today. But as you saw, it was only 2 of these little guys from here. Only 1 little stamp from there, aside from the sentiment, right? And yet, we managed to make 2 seasonal cards, which in my opinion is not too shabby considering they're so very different one from the other, of course. And my hope is that this has given you somewhat of an idea of what you can make using the craft, even if maybe at first glance it doesn't seem like something that you might use. It really is up to you how you use your materials, how much you stretch them. You know, I always say cross-pollinate what you have. Take what's in front of you and decide for yourself how it's going to fit your style of crafting. As you can tell, I like tiny little details. I like a lot of color. There's not a specific color palette that's necessarily my style because I just enjoy doing all of it. Of course, I enjoy adding a little bit of glitz and shine and that sort of thing because I find it to be fun. But if you're going to do that, I can advise you to take your time and do things separately. For instance, do all of your stamping at one time, all of your little drops at another time, instead of doing it all at in one sitting. That way you allow those little layers to dry in between, and then you're going to get a nice crisp finish. Case in point, items like these, which is what I shared in today's release video, and you can tell that they're far neater. For instance, this entire skirt has drops on it. The background has glitter, however, that's the glitter paper that's going to be included in the kit. Okay, and then this one even has tulle on it. I added a layer of tulle. I did a bit of drops on the front of the vellum. I did deboss the little spots on the skirt with stylus using just by turning the vellum on the wrong side or flipping it over. And then I gave it that little pointelle look, I think is the word that I'm looking for there. So that was a little bit more time consuming. However, if you cut out the vellum and do all of those little details at once, then cut into it, then it's not horrible, is what I'm trying to say. It's just all a matter of having fun with the supplies. And yeah, there's a lot there in that kit that you can really enjoy. Don't forget, there's also the little flowers. And I don't know what else. There's enough there to have some fun with, is my point. So I do have another tutorial coming up, not to be redundant, because this was, you know, kind of a last minute idea here to try to answer some concerns. But the next tutorial will be the cards, the formal wedding card and then the prom card. That's what you're going to see in that tutorial. So in case you have any questions about that, I invite you to watch that. I do believe I have that scheduled for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. But thank you so much. The one thing that I ask for you to do for me, of course, as, you know, just the only request is that you please leave a thumbs up in the video, of course, because it helps the channel. And if you do decide to shop for any of the items that I share, I invite you to use my links. Why not? They're there, they're for you, and you can feel free to use them. If you want to share my channel on social media, then by all means, let your friends know that if they like to watch any kind of crafty videos that are just relaxing and not too serious, that this channel is there for them as well. And I appreciate all of you for having joined me, and your time is special and precious, so I very, very much appreciate that you would take the time to stop by and say hello and watch me craft. So I hope you guys can be inspired, be very blessed. Thank you also. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Crafty Bee. Please subscribe. I think you're new here. Thank you, Rosh. Thank you, Crafty Ladybug, Melissa, Missy. Big hugs to you guys all. And I think it was Dawn. Was that the other person who was here? And I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll back. I'm reaching. Yes, Dawn. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. But yeah, we were here for a while. But thank you all. Big hugs and kisses to you all, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao. Oh, you're welcome, Dawn. Big hugs to you as well. Take care.